Good evening, ladles and gentle spoons, and welcome back to Guitarbard Unstrung. I really need to I mean, I know I've got the good evening, ladles and gentle spoons, but I feel like I should have a proper je ne sais quoi intro, as it were. Although it'd be interesting to see how my poor rig would cope trying to run all that at once. It's probably better I do it this way. For the record, just so we can get this out of the way, the rig I'm gaming on is 10 years old, at least. And it still runs... It runs Mass Effect Legendary very well. But it is, in fact, a very old rig. I'm fairly certain my father was an artificer of sorts. Ooh, wait, no, I can't go in there yet because I have to fight him. Alright, so now let's buff up. Okay. Alright, alright.
I'm gone.
Well, I gotta raise a little hell.
What do you hope to accomplish here?
Barely injured? Okay. Fine.
Your reasons for your incessant clicking are not known to me.
What you be wanting?
Yay! So we defeated the Deva. Oh, and because we've done that, first we get Jal being like, "I'm free, I'm free."
Yes, I am freed, freed!
And back to the Outlands first. Clearly, so much fun with the CGI. Ravel is unraveling. And then I should probably get to the plot so that I actually say something funny and worth, you know, watching the stream for. I'm 95% certain that you can't just waltz into the mortuary, knock on the door, be like, "Excuse me, I need to get into the dead people place so that I can open a portal to the Fortress of Regrets and go wreak havoc on the plains." So, I think you gotta talk to someone about something. I was gonna say, you should check my highlights for what you missed, because I went on what can only be described as a planescape planar soapbox, I called it, where I launched into the lore of the planes, because in Ravel Puzzlewell's Maze, when she's like, people are asking that the planes be not what they should, or asking that the planes be different things, and I'm like, okay, buckle in, y'all, I'm gonna talk about the whole alignment of the planes and why it's important about, and yeah, it was hardcore. I remember this game like TNO remembers this. Love it. Love it, love it. I joked at one point in a stream where someone was like, "You said earlier," and I'm like, I probably did say something earlier, but my memory is like the Nameless One's, so whatever I said earlier, I don't know what it was. I'm sure it was something very interesting, but... Hey, Anna, how many earrings have you... you've got 2 earrings. Oh, but that's only 10% to stealth skill, which we don't need anymore. It's funny, I had her stealth into the cursed prison to get into the part where you get the Celestial Blade. And so, of course, when she stealths, she's like a shadow I am! Like a shadow I am! And my friend Shagrazier jokes in the chat that the cursed guards are like, "Do you hear something?" "Yeah, it sounds like some voice somewhere going, like a shadow I am. You want to go check it out?" Nah. Oh, I love Anna. I love Anna. She called someone an Egypt at one point, and I'm like, oh, I love you, woman. And apparently I'm supposed to get into the siege tower to do things because it has, like, good weapons. Go to the market. Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
I am iron given purpose. I forge the implements by which the multiverse will be unmade.
They are pain-seeking expression. And once again, we come back to the theme of torment for the whole game. What does entropy need weapons for? Oh, well, theoretically, the Tenari are entropy given form, seeing as they are chaotic evil in nature. So, there's definitely a long argument and debate that can be had about entropy and why is the multiverse your enemy? Okay. Do I have to get on my planar soapbox again? The planes cannot be changed. The whole nature of the... Okay. Here's my beautiful current 5e lore. I made a cheat sheet this time. Photocopied this out of the player's handbook with all the pretty planes all around the center in the alignment. And once again, for the new viewers to the planar soapbox, positive plane, negative plane. Plane of law, plane of chaos. So, Mechanist, lawful neutral, Elysium, neutral good. Notice that they are on the axes of alignment. If these alignments are to shift, then these places will no longer be on these axes, which will then redefine their very nature on a planar level. The planes cannot be... Now, individual cities within the planes can be changed, which is why Cursed, which was a border town, got yoinked into Carceri, and then after a little finagling, got yoinked out of Carceri. Said, thank you, you get it. This is why I love having you in the chat, because you know this lore too, and we can, like... It's like... God. It's like, this is why I miss... Normally, I'm a very big introvert. But one thing I miss is conventions where you find other nerds with your same nerd passion, because you can be literally screaming at each other, but in agreement, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I can't believe this guy's so stupid because the planar lore makes sense. And the other person, absolutely, the planar lore, yeah. I think it's the Charlie Day meme with the cigarette and the yarn on the board, and he's like, you know. Anyway. This guy's wrong. He belongs on... Now, if he wants to be on an entropic plane, down here in the chaotic evil zone, like the, let's say, the Abyss, maybe Carceri or Pandemonium. Actually, no, he'd like Pandemonium. Let's put him in Pandemonium. That's almost certainly pure entropy. Well, no. Pure chaotic neutral is limbo. I was going to say, if you use the 5x5 alignment grid, it actually lines up really neatly. Makes no sense. Entropy doesn't need a weapon like Devil. Entropy is yes, things change. That is the nature of entropy and chaos. And then the demons of the abyss are the negative form of that entropy and change, really. Which is part of the reason why the Beatazu hate them so much, because they need their evil to have a law and an order and a structure. And then, the 5x5 alignment grid works really well here. So Pandemonium is chaotic and pure, if you go by the 5x5 grid. And I feel like Coke's Metal would fit perfectly there, or in the Abyss, with all his fellow entropic followers. Now, Limbo is pure chaotic neutral, which makes sense, because I feel like Limbo would be, as chaotic neutral, would be just entropy in and of itself, neither good nor evil, simply change. But the way Coke's Metal is talking about entropy needing weapons, that falls more under chaotic and pure, chaotic evil, Tenari energy. What is Coke's Metal's alignment? I don't know that I can inspect him and get his character stats. I'm sure it's... I mean, if it's on a 5x5 grid, I would probably call him chaotic and pure. And you're opposed to chaining entropy. In time, even entropy may be chained. That's not... It just states chaotic. Yeah, that's... I can see that. Which is interesting because he's a golem. And I don't know, I think, well, I think Modrons are more mechanist than anything. But... in Europe. When a thing seals itself against its own destruction, it merely dies a different death. That I will agree with. That I'll agree with. In fact, there's a moment in the Terry Pratchett book, Color of Magic, where this guy is trying so hard to protect himself against death, and he seals himself up, and he hears death say, "Dark in here, isn't it?" So you're saying immortality is just a different kind of death. Well, ain't that the goddamn truth? I love how he's... this is like suspiciously specific. So like, huh, you say that this enemy... Okay, so what if the enemy's like this? Uh-huh, okay. And how would I do that? Uh-huh.
I'm gone.
What am I still doing around here? I am living my best unlife, Mr. Dusty Guard, sir. There's so many layers to this game. Like, this is one of the many things that I love about the old D&D, Neverwinter Nights, the Baldur's Gate, Planescape Torment. So many layers! So many different ways of playing, so many different things that you can easily miss. Some things, like, I play Neverwinter Nights, and every so often I'll come across something, it's like, did I know that was there? I'm not sure I knew that was there. And I've played this game more times than I care to think about. All right. Now we're gonna watch the pretty cinematic. I kind of want to leave a knob behind for safety's sake, but because I know what's gonna happen. And suddenly, I was alone. At the moment of your... Oh. This makes more sense than I would really like to admit to, and I say that from experience. As I have maintained my vigil here in this place, I've come to learn the nature of your immortality. It is a thing which hungers for the lives of others. At the moment of your death, it claims another living thing in your place, allowing you to live. The soul that dies in your place is brought here to the fortress as a shadow. I believe this shell prevents your immortality from finding another victim. Hags. So I am doing Rime of the Frost Maiden right now. And at one point, the hag, they go to this hag, Maud Chiselbone, I believe her name is, who, so they need her to protect the town, and she does so. She says she can give this one person the ability to protect the town, but she has to take a year from everybody's life expectancy. Hags work in trades. And so it only makes sense in this case that Ravel's bargain and ritual to give him immortality involves and invokes a trade of sorts of the absolute worst kind. I do have her ring, I'm wearing it. See, and this isn't going to end well because if I recall correctly, I can only save 2 of the people I brought here, can't I? Pretty animation. You know what? I am literally putting the difficulty down to 1. I don't care anymore. Your reason for following him here is becoming clear. Oh yeah, I absolutely romanced her, even though I tried to romance Fall from Grace first. But Fall from Grace did not want anything to do with me, whereas in... How dare you? This is anti-tiefling. This is xenophobia against tieflings. How dare you, Transcendent One? Oh, and there's another frog. Ooh, maybe if I lure you and the other one and I can kill both of you together. That's right, follow me. Here, shadow, 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 shadow. Come on. Come on. And now... for my next trick. Excuse you, the spell didn't cast? Cool, could you maybe attack each other since I cast Confusion on you? That'd be like the ideal scenario here. One of them is just standing there doing nothing. Oh, and now they're both snoozing. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm just gonna leave you. Yeah, so I skipped a fair bit because of stream difficulties the last time I tried. So there's we're in this place called the Fortress of Regrets. We went to hell. We talked to a giant pillar of skulls, and then when we went back to Cursed, it had been dragged into Carceri. So we killed the angel, and then, well, I tried to redeem him, but then he told us that the entrance to the Fortress of Regrets was in the mortuary all along. And so we went back into the mortuary to get into the Fortress of Regrets, and then that asshole big green dude, the Transcendent One, who killed Ravel and has been a giant pain in the ass this whole game, has been playing And Then There Were None with my companions. But about right. Keep running. Keep running. Run. Keep running. Keep running. Continue to move your dumb, stupid feet! Oh, there goes Ignis. Yeah! On. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna watch them sit and go at each other for a little bit. Because I am out of spells. The time for questions is past. Now you will listen to me. I was the first to breach this fortress, and whatever it is that awaits us here was somehow able to defeat me. It will not best me a second time. You sound as if you intend to fight whatever it is that lurks here. It occurred to me, actually, this is very kind of Dark Tower-esque in a way. I've only read Gunslinger, but from what I've heard of the Dark Tower, you apparently find out that he has he has gotten to the Dark Tower several times and been turned away one way or the other. And forgotten it. So, I'm trying to remember when Dark Tower was... I don't know. This is interesting. It never made that connection before, and now I'm... kind of want to, like, message Stephen King. Have you ever played Planescape Torment? I think you might like it. The real treasure was the friends who absolved you along the way. That's true. That is a true statement for this game.
So you have come. Then you shall die again.
Such a cruel irony that the one who has been his killer this whole time was, in fact, his own mortality. And that it was his own mortality so the mortality trapped here in the Fortress of Regret is what created all the shadows. So Ravel Puzzlewell took just regret And they said, regret so strong it could that you could build a fortress out of it. And so regret can truly change the nature of a man because it is within a fortress of regret that the mortality was kept. I am that which walks with all life. My voice is a death rattle, a last breath in the throat, the whisper of a dying man. I have been freed from the prison of your flesh. So there's other ways to convince him to bind with you, and one of them is to ask him the question, what can change the nature of the man? The first answer is regret, and that's how we got to this place. That's how we got all of this in the first place, the Fortress of Regret, the Transcendent One, everything that happened here. The answer that ends it, the answer that makes everything right again, is belief. I used all my dang buff spells. And didn't have to fight anybody.
Time is not your enemy. Forever is.
The hand of justice shall not be stayed.
I shall dwell in justice's halls for a time, and the time shall not be measured in years. And that is Planescape Torment, with the Nameless One going off to serve his punishment in the Blood War. The very same Blood War that they have been alluding to the entire game. What's the blood? You wanted me to give you this. If you want the chant on the Blood War, you have to go to watch the planar soapbox. So yes, everyone, that is. I'm sorry, I'm shaking my head at the music. Oh, cast right there. Yep, Keith David is Valor. Jennifer Hay. Tony J was the Transcendent One. That's right. Rest in peace, Tony J. Very, very 90s ending music here. So yes, that is the wonderfulness that is Planescape Torment. What's the Blood War, you actual troll? It's funny watching these credits and seeing how short they are by comparison to, like, even just Mass Effect 1. It's just, there's so many more. There's, like, just such huge teams that go into games now. Anyway. Thank you for joining me on this lovely little jaunt into Planescape Torment Enhanced